welcome to Spain. Guten Morgen, Tanya.
Oh, we're moving into German now? Please
Well,
no. I'm having a hard enough time with Spanish. Can we stick with Spanish?
Okay. What was it? Buenos dias, Tanya.
Buenos dias. There you go. I mean, I'm more than happy to learn another language, but I feel like I should perfect-ish my Spanish first.
We should learn the one we're in the country we're at for sure.
Exactly. Anyway, welcome to sunny Spain. We're finally having some nice weather. Loving it.
I mean, it's not as hot. I'm
It's
not.
not as
I
hot.
went walking around yesterday, and I wasn't dying, so
Oh,
that
that's
was
good.
nice.
Nice change.
Yeah.
As we've said, July and August is part of our favorite time in Valencia, so let's not lie right off the bat.
Exactly. So, do you have any Spain moments for you
Ooh,
this
I do.
week?
I do. I have a good one. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I have a good one that will lead us into what we're going to talk about today, which is very fortuitous, shall we say.
Okay.
So I took Blaze up to the mountains. We took a nice hike, and since it got a little bit cooler, that was possible without us all dying. And I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to do this, so
Okay.
7 a.m. And so a lot of the places that I hike, because this part of this area, Nakara, it's all horse stables. I mean, if you are a horsey person, this is a great place to live because you can go riding in like 15 different places. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not quite that many, but anyway, so there's a lot of horses. They take trails around the mountains too, so some of the hikes that I go on, there's also horses. And
So let me guess,
I
you have to watch out for some horse poo.
actually, you do, yes, sometimes you'll come across a horse poop. Not that often, but what I found today, which was very cool, was a random horseshoe.
Like when you're walking around the city and you see a random sneaker, there's just a
Yeah.
horseshoe laying on the
I've
trail.
never seen one before. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, but it was a random horseshoe that must have fallen off a horse.
Uh huh.
And so of course I picked it up and I washed it off, and which takes longer than you think, actually. You got to get the little nails out of it and stuff. Anyway, so once I got
Okay.
it all nice and shiny, I've hung it up in the in by the front door for good luck, as
Okay.
you're
To
supposed
bring
to do.
in luck into your home and
Mhm.
all those things.
And all
Okay.
those good things. Yeah, that's what
Now,
they say. So that's what I'm doing.
now, who's they in Spain, or is this just back a back home tradition? Is
So
this
I don't
a
know. That's definitely an English thing, and I think pretty sure an American thing. I should have looked up whether that's also a Spanish thing, but we will look into now anyway the 10 quirky superstitions in Spain that we have found. Some of them we've come
yes?
across, and some of them we have researched, but they're quite fun, and I think that you'll enjoy everything here.
Yes, I mean, I have fun. I've had fun with this list, and I've had some of this list, as you said, happen to me. I've happened
Hmm.
upon it in my life. The first one that we have is Tuesday the 13th. Now, because that's their bad luck day. It's not Friday the 13th. And when
Yeah.
I read this, I was like, I don't remember there being a Tuesday the 13th movie. It's Friday the 13th,
This is true.
people.
It
Get
doesn't
it together.
have, yeah, it doesn't have quite the same ring to us, right? But
Right.
because of all the pop culture that has gone along with Friday the 13th, it's become quite a thing, hasn't it? Now,
Yeah.
Tuesday actually makes sense because I did do some research on why Friday the 13th, and I actually like the reasoning behind Tuesday the 13th better. So apparently, this is something that is both in Spain and in Greece. And the
Okay.
reason for Tuesday, if you do know a little bit of your Spanish, martes, right, is Tuesday. And it is this Tuesday is associated with the Roman god of war, Mars, which so that makes sense. So that's Tuesday is because of so it's the god of war. That's chaos, right?
Right. Right.
And then
No,
I
I
think
mean,
everywhere the number 13. So it makes more sense that Tuesday and the 13th go together maybe than Friday, but that's why it is here.
but in England, it's Friday the 13th, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here we don't know about the rest of Europe. Maybe maybe a lot of Roman conquered, but the Romans conquered England too. So who knows, right?
Yeah, but we didn't take on the language in that regard, I guess, because we still have Tuesday. We don't have Martes, or I think in some of these other languages in Europe, it's more closer to that
Right.
word for Tuesday. So that's it kind of makes sense. I haven't really come across it that much here with people saying it, but I also do think that's sometimes more of a kid thing that it's like, oh my gosh, and make a big deal about it. So I don't know.
But what I wouldn't have to find out, are there like Tuesday the 13th movies here? I don't know anything about Spanish horror cinema, so now this is going to be like a little thing I'm going to have to research, because we are a horror movie loving family, so maybe
You
we need to
certainly
find out.
are. I'm trying to get over it. I'm trying to ignore the fact that you all watch horror films. I'm wondering, if it's one of those things when they did Friday the 13th, whether they renamed it in Spain to Tuesday the 13th
Right, we don't
in order
know.
to market it. So you'll have to look that one up and let us know, because that would be what one would do, right? Sometimes
One would think, but who knows?
yeah.
But the movie is all about Friday. Who knows? Who knows? But
I know you'll find this shocking. I haven't watched it, so
I know you're a wimp. I don't understand you. We look at you with pity and shame.
Yeah, I am absolutely a wimp. I am not gonna lie, not watching that stuff. So should we move on to number two?
Sure. What's number two?
Number two is no hats on a bed. Now I feel like I might have heard this, but it's definitely not it's definitely not a superstition that has come into like our family circle.
I don't know this one either. Like in from my life.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is it's the superstition that if you put your hats on the bed, it's people are bringing their evil spirits, I guess, in their heads and their hair, and if you put the hat on the bed, their evil spirits are being left behind in your house. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
it's a weird one.
It's kind of an odd one to explain, I think, because I think there's a lot overall. I'm seeing a bit of a pattern of, you want to keep evil spirits out of your house, basically. Your
Right.
house should be a tranquil, happy place, which makes perfect sense. And all the evil spirits are running around outside the house, hopefully. So a lot of this is about keeping good energy in your house, which is always a good idea. So
All right, so then I think I have $1 million Shark Tank idea for Spain. Then I'll come up with like a outside hat rack. You know what I mean? So
With a
you don't
lock.
even bring those evil spirits into the house, let alone make them to the bed.
Well, I
They
do
just-
think it is directly related to the bed. So I think it's okay to have take your hat off like in the front at the beginning, in the foyer of your house, and then have a hat rack there. I think that's probably acceptable because it seems to be very directly related to a bed, which is where you're sleeping, right? So maybe the amount of time you're spending in bed.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't
something.
think we should be taking any chances. I'm gonna up this superstition and make $1 million out of it. Okay.
Okay, no hats in the house. That's it.
€1 million. Sorry, €1 million. I'm gonna
There
make.
you go.
I'd rather have
Yeah.
€1 million anyway.
Yeah, better. So, okay, so that's good. So number three has to do a little bit again with warding off evil spirits, and that is you're supposed to put cactus or cacti and place them in the windowsills.
Which I have to say, I've seen a lot of, and I did not
Really?
know that was
Okay.
a superstition. But even in the city, like I've seen a lot of cacti in the window, and I can
Mhm.
even look out my balcony, and the balconies across the street have big cacti on their balconies. And I was like, why are you putting that out there? Because I mean, cacti are nice and all, but I mean, it's not the prettiest plant. Some of these, they get
Yeah.
ratty in this hot sun and all that. But now I know why they're there, because
But I will say I have started to really love cacti. I was never really a big fan, but they're easy to take care of. I can't really kill them. I haven't managed to kill one yet. And when you start getting into them, I have a friend who's really into them, and the variety and if you can get them to flower are like amazing. So there is something about them that people might just be loving because they're an easy plant to keep. So they have that going for them
Right.
as well, which is probably a good thing that the plant that you're placing in your windowsill to ward off evil spirits doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to put a fern, because I've never kept a fern alive.
No.
So
But we've all had them start a plant.
yes, we've all had them. I bought them many times. There are certain plants I buy, and I'm like, this will never be a forever plant, but it's cheaper than a bouquet of
Yeah.
flowers. So
There you go,
that's how-
exactly. And if you're gonna ward off evil spirits, I think you should not be whistling indoors either. That's another thing, related to that.
Yes, have you heard that elsewhere? Because I've never heard that.
Never. Yeah. But I mean, I have to say, not a big whistler myself. Don't know a lot of people that do, so I don't know that it's something that would have come up like in my life that much.
No, I mean, I do whistle with my kids outside just to embarrass them, but not,
Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole other episode of all the things we do to embarrass our children on purpose.
Yeah, we should do that, an episode
would be
of
fun.
how to embarrass your children in Spain.
Is it? I don't think it's that different from other countries, but sure.
So a thing that I find interesting and kind of cool is that our number four is when you're giving gifts, you should not give scissors or knives. Not that I was often giving scissors and knives as gifts, but the symbolism is if you give a knife or a scissor as a gift, it's how do you say, representing severing the friendship,
Mm-hmm.
severing the relationship. So the person receiving the gift is supposed to give a couple coins to the gift giver, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not a gift and it's an exchange, which I think was
Right.
kind of cool.
I think that's cool, and you're very welcome to buy me a 200 euro knife, and I'll give you a penny. Like, I'm so happy for that exchange.
What about cars? Do they have you could gift me
I
a
know.
car and I'll give you a euro token or two?
Maybe we
You
can
know?
start a superstition just so that we can find some great gifts.
Yes.
But I do think that's kind of interesting. I mean, I think, like you said, a pair of scissors. I mean, there are some really fancy scissors, but I mean, knives are great. I will disagree with you on that. I think knives are great gifts because there are some really beautiful, very expensive knives that maybe people will get them as wedding gifts or something. So who knows?
Right. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't give me one. I'm just saying I don't normally give them out as gifts.
No.
You know.
And if you do, you will get a penny
Now
for
I'll
your
get a penny.
troubles.
So you ain't getting no nice knife. You're gonna get some
Right.
cheap one.
One from the Chinese store, apparently.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is kind of fun though. Number five, I do think number five, there's a lot of variations of this around the world in places that I've lived, but this particular one is one that I have not come across, which is salt. Passing the salt shaker from hand to hand is considered bad luck. You need to place it on the table for somebody to pick up. And
Gotcha.
that's interesting. I haven't come across that particular salt superstition.
Oh, and because like we're used to like if you spill some salt, you throw it over your
Mm-hmm.
left shoulder. But I did find out something else that I'm going to surprise you with because it's not on our list and it
Uh-oh.
wasn't in our previous list of research because we went through a big list, people, of like 20 and we narrowed it
Yeah.
down to 10 for you. So there
Yeah,
there
there
was
might be.
thinking going on here and curating. But this is one I didn't even share with you. It's also like bad luck if you filling glasses should only be done on the table. You shouldn't fill like a glass with water in your hand. You should put it on the table
Oh,
and fill it.
interesting.
Yeah.
And you could fill it, so you could fill it on the table in the kitchen and then bring it out onto the dining room table or something.
Right, but you
can't
wouldn't
fill it in
do
your
it while
hand.
holding it. Yeah. Isn't
Well,
that
that kind of
crazy?
makes it difficult for champagne, which is something that I love. Because you're supposed to sort of tilt the glass and pour it in, and that might be hard if you're trying to also touch the glass to the
Yeah, I don't know.
table.
I just saw that it was like water, so I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just water.
Maybe it's
But
just water. Yeah, because you're not supposed to cheers with water either. Now we've really gone off track. But you're not supposed to cheers with water. So water has its own set of, so it might just be a water thing. But I also think it'll be interesting to find out why salt is associated with so many superstitions. And I don't know why that is.
well, that's your homework.
That's my homework.
And I do have to say, if we didn't go off on a tangent, then it wouldn't be our show.
That's true.
So I have also found out why I've been single my whole life.
Yes, number 6. This one's for
Number
you.
Number 6 is if sweeping the floor, avoid sweeping over the feet of an unmarried person because that's believed to prevent them from getting married. So I think in my life, people have been sweeping over my feet and I don't remember it because still no ring on it, as they say.
There you go. Well, maybe you had some very clean people that you were living with when you were younger, and they were just sweeping everywhere and just happened to go over your feet several times. Because I don't know how often it you have to do that for it to take, but for all the unmarried people that maybe didn't want to be unmarried, I guess, because there's probably plenty that are like, please sweep over my feet. Not
Now
necessarily.
you don't have anything like that back in your home country, a sweeping over the feet. Do you have any?
Oh, that one seems something where, well, I mean, not that marriage isn't a very coveted thing in England before, but that seems like something that comes from cultures maybe where marriage is a much bigger thing. Like I would say, so and maybe it's an older thing that just kind of sort of disappeared. I don't, no idea. Yeah,
Well, and they do a lot of
heard of it.
sweeping here. I mean, they do sweep a lot here. There's always the cleaning of the sidewalks and the washing, right? There's this kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, the dust. I don't know.
That's
I'm
true.
just.
No, I have seen a lot of people also like sweeping in front of their houses. Like, and we
Hmm.
were talking about how everyone has. I mean, it's probably this is similar in America. You're kind of in charge of the public space in front of your house, in front of your like if you live in outside of the city, like the outside of your wall. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not really your responsibility, but everyone that is kind of your responsibility to keep it looking nice. So people are sweeping out there. So maybe you were going for walks and people were just sweeping over your feet.
Maybe. Who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows? But that is kind of a fun one. Very not none of them are provable, so who knows? Um,
Now, our number 7, you have to remember this is a family friendly podcast, so use your
mhm.
words wisely when translating this.
Okay, so mucho mierda, which means a lot of. Are we allowed to say this word? A lot of poo poo, a lot of caca.
Poo poo, caca.
This is instead of break a leg. So obviously, this is a. I mean, you can say this in any particular situation, but it's obviously very, very much more in the theatrical context of when someone's about to go up on stage or something, and then it's just I can't imagine saying this. I mean, this is one of those things that feels like unless I hear 50 people say it first, I'm not jumping in on that one.
Oh, I'm gonna use it now. This is a good for when your kids have their exams coming up. It's a good way to wish them off and kind of make light of the morning too. When
Hmm.
you send them off to go stress out on their exams all day, wish them a little mucha mierda. So
Yeah,
the mucha
exactly.
mierda. I didn't do it with my proper accent.
Exactly. Well, I do feel like it's one of those things that if it's your language, you don't even realize maybe how silly it sounds, right? But if you're learning another
Right.
language, suddenly you're like, oh, when you put those words together, and it's not a phrase that we have in English, it suddenly it means something completely different in English. Then it feels weird. It sounds weird to say it.
Right.
Yeah, but that is kind of fun. Like you said, make fun of the moment.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point, right? That's even
Well,
though
and
they break a leg,
you're a
you want to
theatrical
release the
guy.
stress. Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to
you're a
release the
theatrical guy
stress.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Am I
Um,
theatrical? No, I'm kind of understated.
I mean, in the sense of like you like that kind of thing, and I could see you on stage. I could imagine you on stage. I can't imagine myself on stage acting in a play, but I could see you doing that for fun.
Once or twice I did it in my past lives. In my
Oh,
past
in your
lives.
past lives, how many lives do you have?
Well, this one I think I've had a lot so far. But in my youth I was an actor and a singer and all those things, and then I became a dad.
There you go.
That's just my job now,
Dadding.
dadding.
Things change. Parenting.
Parenting changes everything, right?
It
Um,
does.
so which leads us to number 8.
Achoo!
Salud.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
let's
you.
do that. That was so forced. We're not improv actors.
No, we're
So
not. I waited too long. I need to come in while you're speaking.
so here they say salute instead of bless you for when someone sneezes, in case you didn't get that, that's where we're headed. But they also will say Jesus. Um, I think that's more of a Latin American thing from what I've heard, but they will say that here. They'll say Jesus. Something else I heard was that they'll say like Jesus, Mary, and God, but like in Spanish. So if you had
Oh,
3
yeah.
sneezes,
Hmm.
and they'll do that here, but I think that's more of a Latin American thing. But here it's
Right.
salud.
Well,
I don't
and
know if you've
speaking
heard
of
that before.
sneezes, I mean, in the sneezes arena, I've heard like 3 sneezes is good luck.
Right, I've heard that
Yeah.
in. And I don't know you. I love a sneeze. I love a sneeze.
I think it
Clears
depends.
everything up, opens your head up.
Not if you're actually got a cold, but if you're just sneezing, yes, then it's fun.
Yes.
Because if you have a cold and you're really sneezing a lot, that can start to hurt.
But now in post COVID, right? We'll be post COVID for another
Yeah.
10 years. you sneeze on the street, like you're so embarrassed that everyone's looking at you like you're gonna kill the whole
Right?
street still,
Or
right?
on a
It's still
plane. I mean, if you're on a
oh
plane and you sneeze, you still have that feeling of like, oh my God, everybody here thinks I've got something, right?
yes.
I don't know how long that'll
For
take
sure.
to go away. Probably never.
Not in our lifetime, probably, right? You've got to be born out of it. Like, have you not
I
known it,
think
right?
so. Yeah, I think so. We would
And
just,
it'll
yeah,
probably be a new superstition, right? So probably a new superstition will develop out of this in the next 20 to 50 years of sneezing and what's going to be
yeah.
a new response, right?
But I do think, yeah, that's kind of a good one to know if you're coming into another country, because it's one of those things that's so built in to just be like, oh, bless you, or whatever, when someone sneezes, that you don't think
Hmm.
about the fact that you need to say that in another language, because it's just this auto thing that you do. So
Right.
salud, which is also cheers, right? Salud. I mean, you can use that for a lot of things.
It's
So
it's a
helpful.
well-being, right?
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, yeah. With health, with health,
with health,
without
with health,
COVID.
without COVID. Excuse me, I had a little cough there, which did not require a salute.
That will not be a salute.
No. Now, do you want to lead us with number 9?
Number 9, yes. This is always good advice. Your best foot forward. So this is one of those things I feel like I've heard this. It's never been something I've thought about, but now of course that we're talking about it, I'm going to do it all the time, which is it is considered misfortune to enter the room with your left foot. So you need to walk into a room with your right foot. And that seems like a
Right.
lot of work. I mean, I would imagine a house, not a room. I mean, you can't do this around your house, you'd go crazy. So I would say walking into someone's house or walking into a new building, perhaps, but every room, that seems insane.
Well, I think you need to develop a new OCD and
This seems like a
tell me how that
terrible way to
works
go
out
about
for
your
you.
day. Yeah. I
But I would think most of us start walking anyway with our right foot, right? I think like we lead with our right foot, so maybe it's not that hard
if
to actually
you're well, it
accomplish.
depends on whether you're right-footed or goofy. Isn't that what they say in surfing and
Is
what in uh
are people
skiing?
right-footed and left-footed like they are
Yeah,
like
people are
right-handed
exactly
left?
exactly. So if you surf or if you do snowboarding, they want to know which foot you are, because you want to have that the strongest foot. Well, now I don't even know if that's in the front or the back, but anyway, you have to put your feet properly, whether you're goofy or normal. So normal, I think, would be right-footed. I would imagine goofy would be left-footed, but I will probably be corrected on that. But that's what I'm saying. When you're walking around your house, you're just walking around. So to do that would be very hard. You're not gonna, but when you're standing outside a front door and then you step in, yes, I think you're absolutely correct. You're standing and then you're stepping. You would probably do it with your right
Hmm. Well, now I'm going to be obsessed to find out which one I lead
foot.
with. And is it the same as my hand? I'm right-handed. Am I right-footed, or does it cross over? Oh,
Not
geez, now we've opened
necessarily.
up a whole
Yeah.
can of worms
Not
here.
necessarily. And then but this also seems very anti-left people, so it's like you can't, because there was a time when it was considered you were evil if you were left-handed, like they were forcing children to
There
be
was a
right-handed.
time. I still think it's true. Those are
uh,
evil people. No, I love left-handed people. Do not cancel me, please. I do.
well, that was a big flip-flop. I don't know where you stand now. I mean,
Keep them guessing.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, they used to stop children from being left-handed, right? So I mean,
Right.
that was a big thing. So I could see that for some reason, being left, having left foot being your strong foot would be something that would be considered, technically evil, I guess. So that's why you got to step into a house with your right foot. Seems
Right.
like a lot of work to me, though.
Now, number 10, I have to say, for 2 New Year's is in a row, I have prepared these, but did
Really?
not but did not accomplish it in time because I was so caught up in the moment of the clock striking 12 that I forgot to whip out the 12 grapes that were stuck in my jacket pocket, because at midnight, at the 12 seconds before midnight, you're supposed to eat a grape for every second and finish them before midnight strikes to welcome a good luck
Yeah.
for the new year. And I haven't done it, but I would have to say it's not completely been a bad luck year the past 2 years, so
So maybe
but
it's
this
okay.
maybe but this year I'm going to try. I mean, I bring them. and then we forget about them.
So I don't know if it has to be whole grapes. This seems like a choking hazard for somebody that used to and may still cut grapes in half. Just for sometimes I'm cutting the seeds out because I don't like those. So anyway, but I would always, when Xena was younger, cut her grapes in half so that they were less of a choking hazard, and then I just became a habit of doing it. So to have a child just stuffing 12 grapes in their mouth every 12 for 12 seconds in a row seems like I think that's amazing because it just goes against everything.
Can't you just put all 12 in your mouth at once and chew really good? I mean, that seems a lot easier because that's a lot of movement. One grape. Gee, that's a lot.
I mean, I do think ultimately you're going to end up with 12 grapes in your mouth to chew. There's no way you could eat a grape every second, I don't think. But we might have to, one day when we're interviewing someone that's Spanish, find out how this actually really works because it does seem like it would be quite hard. And as unless you allowed like a tiny piece of grape and you can just pop in 12 little bits, I don't know.
I don't think you're allowed to cut things. I think you're supposed to cheat on good luck. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's shortcuts to good luck. You're whole hog when it comes to good luck. You got to do the whole thing. There's if you're gonna you don't do like sometimes you have to cross yourself, right? You don't do half a cross. Like you got to do all three.
Speaking of whole hog, I mean, this is Spain. Why couldn't it be 12 pieces of jamon? Like, why is it 12 grapes?
That would be easy. I could get that down. Yeah.
I would prefer that. Oh my goodness.
I know.
And there are other New Year's superstitions, but we'll get into that closer to New Year, just to make sure that everyone's prepared. We can't give it all away now. No, but we'll prepare you. Don't worry, we'll prepare you before New Year.
We'll have a New Year's special or something, right?
Yeah. Well, that is 10 fun and quirky Spanish superstitions that kind of mesh, but not quite really, with maybe ones that we've heard of. So we're all going to be jumping around in a completely different way for the next week until we're like, this is way too much work.
I'm not going to ask anyone to pass me the salt. I'm going to be careful what I'm sweeping. I'm going to be, what I have to go. Now I have to run out and buy a cactus and put it out on the balcony in front of evil spirits. I've got a lot of work to do today. I don't know about you.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. I've got to walk around the house and make sure I walk into every single room with my right foot. This is going to take up my whole day, basically.
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, yeah.
Not like I'm not going to be walking down our hallway and be like, which one's foot? What foot am I walking in with now?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think this will be fun. Well, we hope you all enjoyed our 10 superstitions, and if you're like us, you'll be thinking about them for a little while and maybe crossing some of them off your list as too much work.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Well, hasta luego, Tania.
Hasta luego. We don't know that in German, I guess.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, Auf Wiedersehen. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, see?
Nice. Look at us.
Look at Spain has become Europe.
we know 3 words in multiple languages.
So many languages.
We know so much.
All right, okay, arigato,
bye.
Mr. Roboto.
Bye.
Ciao. Hey, can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Spain Podcast.
And on our website, ourspain.com, which we will be updating with exciting new things as we grow.
We would love for you to message us with any topics you would like to hear about.
See you next time.
Bye.